The idea of the confirmed John Wick 5 is an undeniably polarizing one, with many fans claiming that it doesn't need to be made at all. As the fifth movie in the series, it naturally runs the risk of tiring out this franchise, instead of letting it stop while it's ahead. It's for this reason that I'm much more excited to see what happens with Ballerina than if Keanu Reeves's protagonist manages to come back from the dead. Perhaps the main criticism of John Wick 5 is that it retroactively ruins the ending of John Wick 4. The previous installment seemingly killed Reeves's protagonist for good, proving that he needed to die in order to sever his ties with the High Table while protecting Kane at the same time. It's a very potent ending that fits naturally with John Wick's themes of sacrifice and vengeance, but the confirmation of John Wick 5 seemingly undoes all this great storytelling. None of these problems exist with Ballerina 2. The spin-off was clearly written with the concept of a sequel in mind, as Ballerina directly sets up the next movie in its ending. Much like Wick's fate in the second main series movie, Eve Macaro has become an enemy of the High Table, and a bounty has been placed on her head. This clearly establishes the stakes of Ballerina 2, proving that there's plenty of room for this spin-off franchise to head in the same direction as John Wick. Reeves was a huge selling point of the original John Wick movies, and his magnetic screen presence is much of the reason that nobody has managed to replace him within the franchise, until now. Ana de Armas displays much of the same charisma and physical aptitude in Ballerina that made Reeves such a beloved star, meaning she could easily carry the torch of this franchise into the future. Reeves's return in John Wick 5 initially seemed necessary for the franchise to get audiences back on board, as the sequel never could have worked without him. But now that de Armas has made such an impressive splash, there's no reason that Reeves needs to come back when she's available to take the reins from him. Having John Wick 5 and Ballerina 2 run parallel to each other could simply confuse audiences, especially if their stories cross over. One more area where Ballerina 2 surpassed expectations was in Len Wiseman's directorial talent. It had previously been implied that only Chad Stahelski could make a successful John Wick movie, but Wiseman immediately proved that isn't the case. While his direction certainly isn't quite as staggering as Stahelski's accomplishments, the spin-off effectively proves that John Wick doesn't have to solely be the work of Stahelski and Reeves. Though Stahelski was responsible for all of John Wick's best action sequences, Wiseman offers some equally impressive work in Ballerina. From the flamethrower duels to the grenade stunt work, there are plenty of brilliant set pieces in this spin-off that prove just how much creativity is possible when a new filmmaker is given complete control of this action-packed franchise. John Wick 5 doesn't need to happen for the franchise to be a huge success. It's already there, both commercially and critically. It's very unlikely that Stahelski will manage to outdo himself again with the fifth movie, which means that John Wick may end up going out on a fairly underwhelming note. Conversely, it doesn't really feel like Ballerina has reached its full potential yet, and Ballerina 2 is a necessary next step for that to happen. There are plenty of great fight scenes and dark character moments in 2014's John Wick, but it feels safe to say that the franchise didn't peak until the fourth entry. John Wick 2 is a huge improvement over the first movie, as the crew got even more ambitious with their stunt work and fell into a natural storytelling rhythm. It feels unfair to deprive Ballerina of this same progression, because otherwise it will always be lingering in the shadow of the main series. John Wick has already experimented with so many different kinds of action filmmaking. The first movie was a more centralized exhibition of gun-few combat, whereas the second and third movies attempt some riskier, larger-scale set pieces with different weapons and even animals at times. There have been so many interesting ideas explored in these movies,